Technology and AI for business owners and AI for business marketing. Hey, how's it going? My name is Kristin Nicole, and if technology or AI feels overwhelming or intimidating or something like you're behind on, I just want you to take a breath now, because in this video, I am going to go through this with you in a way that is going to be very simple and regulating. This video is not about becoming tech savvy overnight. It is about understanding how technology and AI can support you as a business owner without taking over your business or your voice. So before we dive in, I just want to say I am recovering from double jaw surgery, so hopefully you can understand me okay. I'm still regaining some facial movements. So if I look a little funny, that is why, because I'm still retraining the facial muscles. But I appreciate your grace and understanding as I walk you through this, and thank you for understanding. So let me just say to start that you do not need to be a techie in order to use technology or AI for your business. Okay, we often overcomplicate this, or at least a lot of times starting off as a new business owner, this is something that can be really overwhelming. And the thing is that you don't need to use everything, okay? You don't need to keep up with trends. Oftentimes when it comes to technology and AI, simple is better than advanced, right? So simple outweighs advanced methods, especially when you're first getting started. And a lot of businesses, you do need to get started with some. We've talked about that in previous videos, but you don't need to make this really difficult or overwhelming, okay? So let me talk about, first of all, just kicking off with what AI is, okay? And likely you have heard of this by now, but if you haven't, let me just explain that AI, or artificial technology, is not a robot that's replacing you, okay? It is a tool that helps you think and organize and get unstuck faster. At least that's how we want to use it. That's how I recommend that you use it. AI can be a very powerful tool, especially for beginners, especially for introverts and neurodivergent individuals and deeply feeling women, because it can help with things like ideas, with creating some content, with providing you with structure to the content creation and to your ideas. It can help you with drafting information. It can help you with organizing, okay? What AI does not do or replace is it does not know your values, okay? It's not a replacement for that. It's not a replacement for your judgment. It doesn't understand your lived experience. And this is especially important to reframe AI in a way that makes sense, okay? So AI is really great at being a thought partner and helping you get all of the stuff out of your head that you want to say, but you're not quite sure where to start. So it can help with brainstorming things. It can help with target audience information and investigation. It is not a shortcut to instant success, so that's something really important to keep in mind. It is not something that you have to use constantly. It is not something that replaces learning fundamentals either, and it is not something that removes the need for clarity. It doesn't remove the need for you to think. It just helps to support your thinking. And that's why when it comes to getting started, this is something that is really important, because sometimes we get stuck, and I know I've certainly gotten stuck in that not knowing where to begin phase, essentially, right? When it comes to Okay, how do I want to structure my content, and what all do I want to include? I usually have an idea of like, here's some of the things I want to make sure that I hit on, and I will use AI to help me not formalize that, but like flesh that out, right? So I will use AI to help me refine my thinking a little bit and refine what it is I want to teach and refine what it is that I want to talk about. So the reason AI is helpful for beginners, which I've talked about a little bit already, but when it comes to AI, specifically for new digital marketers or digital marketing beginners, which if you're watching this video, I know that you are, AI can be super helpful to reduce blank page paralysis. So not knowing where to get started with in terms of content. It can help you with organizing scattered thoughts. Certainly I use it for that sort of reason. And it can give starting points when your energy is lower. When you're like, hey, this is the topic I want to do, but I just don't know how to break it down, right? It also helps to save time on repetitive tasks. So for many beginners, the hardest part isn't doing the work. It's knowing where to start, and AI can help with that. And that's really important, especially, being an introvert as well. Like sometimes we need to go out and be talking to people to do kind of customer research or target audience research. AI can help with this so that you don't have to go and put yourself into all of these situations that's super draining in order to get this information. One thing to note, of course, is that technology is bigger than artificial intelligence, right? Just to pause real quick and remind you that we've already talked about technology in earlier videos, especially when I walked through the different business models. Now, AI is just one type of technology. Technology for your business is going to incorporate other systems as well, but a lot of those systems this day and age are incorporating AI, and at the same time, we want to be careful just because it's very new in terms of being used by the public, and there are different types of AI, but for our purposes, we're going to be talking about like generative AI, things that can help you with content creation and things of that nature. So on the whole, though, I certainly recommend using AI to help you get started, but you're going to need other technology, which could include things like an email service provider or a simple website or landing page builder, a content platform. And that can be as easy as Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, but some TikTok, some sort of platform like that. You'll likely need a basic payment tools. This will be a basic payment platform. This will be specific to you if you are doing coaching or consulting, but maybe not so much if you're doing affiliate marketing, and certainly not if you're doing network marketing. And AI is going to be the optional support. It's not a requirement, okay? It's just a way to help you go further faster and to help you get through some of those creative blocks. Most people start with very little technology when they're starting out in business. And then they add tools only when they're actually useful. And it is really easy to kind of get caught up in the, this technology looks really cool, so I'm going to go ahead and use that thing. I've done that before. There's no shame in that. I just want you to know that it is not necessary. You can stick with one thing and build upon that as you go. Now, if you are feeling overwhelmed by technology, then that is usually a sign that you're trying to think too far ahead. You can start very simply with this by trying something out like ChatGPT for researching your customer needs, okay? The purpose of this video is just to have an understanding of how you can use some of this technology to be able to help and support you in your business. So let's talk about ethical use of AI in your business. And this is really important because in the previous video, we talked about ethical marketing practices, right? And so it's really important, we want to stay aligned with our ethics and our values. And that's the whole reason a lot of times we're starting a business and running a business in a way that feels really good to you. So one thing to note is that AI assists, it does not replace. You should absolutely be reviewing everything that AI provides to you. You can adjust the language to sound like you, and you make the final decisions. Your business should never be like a machine or sound like a machine. AI is there to support your voice, but it doesn't become it, okay? And I like to tell people getting started, particularly with AI, is that we always want to be double checking and fact checking things, because AI does have the tendency to hallucinate, essentially provide things that aren't real. I remember I was looking into something before and it provided me with some research pages, right? Like to research notes. And I copied the link and I put it into the address bar to take me to that page, and it didn't exist. So it can come up with things that just are completely not real at all. And so that's something to be aware of as you use AI. But that's okay, because we're going to be double checking everything, right? And we're going to just use it as a creative thought partner. We're not going to use it as this is 100% fact, okay? So that's why it's important to be double checking that kind of stuff. Let's talk about some practical ways to use AI, okay? So AI can help you with things like clarifying your target audience, understanding what their wants, needs, desires, and frustrations are, brainstorming content topics, outlining videos or posts, simplifying complex ideas, and it can help with organizing plans or checklists. What you don't need to do with it is generate final copy without editing, right? Like you would want to always edit whatever AI gives you. You want to put it in your voice. So you want to you don't need to use it daily. That is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of a brain flub. So you don't need to use it daily, and you don't need to have it generate your final copy. You can, but then you do want to go in and edit it. And you don't need to follow it blindly, nor should you, just like I mentioned before. In fact, you absolutely should not follow it blindly. AI can very much make mistakes. It can hallucinate, and it can give you references that don't exist. And this is why you need to look at the outputs with a really good discerning eye, because this really should be used as a support for business marketing in content creation and research, but it should not be your dominant thing, if that makes sense. You always just want to be double checking it. One thing that's really important is to remember that starting with the right support matters. I just want to say that I want you to know that you don't have to figure all of this out on your own, okay? There are ethical, beginner-friendly systems out there that use AI very thoughtfully. There are individuals who use these systems that are designed to help business owners start with good foundations instead of duct taping things together. And so that's just something to keep in mind. But not all AI tools are created equally. So if you're looking for a tool, you do want to do your research, and you want to make sure, as you know, not how it was built out, but you want to make sure that you feel comfortable with the owners who created it, right? I think it's really important, especially in this space, to understand that not all systems are created ethically, or they're not, they're not created. I don't want to say in an ethical manner, but like there are ones that put checks and balances into place, and then there are ones that don't, right? Not all individuals or business owners who've created AI tools, not all of them prioritize clarity over hype. So what matters is, in this case, is choosing tools and systems that support your thinking, but don't replace it. And when you choose that, you want to look for an individual or creator or company that you feel really good about in terms of their ethics and their values, and how they are creating these things. And that doesn't mean you have to be tech savvy and understand it all, right? But you just want to research a little bit. Like, is the owner or the creator of this system, how have they marketed in the past, right? Because you can tell, I think, a lot about a marketer or a business owner based off of how they market and the language that they use and the way that they kind of conduct themselves. One thing to also think about if you do use AI is something called prompt engineering. So this is something you'll want to get good at. And now prompt engineering, it is one of the more important skills when using AI, but it sounds more intimidating than it is. It's something that a lot of people actually skip, but what it is really just learning how to communicate clearly when you're putting in prompts. So it's not coding and it's not technical. It's really asking questions so that the AI tool can give you answers. So it's asking better questions. It's really learning how to give context to the tool that you're using. It's learning how to ask better questions. Like I said, it's learning how to refine your responses, and it's learning how to guide the output from the technology itself. The quality of what AI gives you really depends heavily on the quality of what you ask it. It's kind of a garbage in, garbage out scenario, right? So if you're not asking it very good questions, then it's not going to give you very good output. So when AI is used ethically, with good prompting and clear boundaries, it actually can save time and reduce overwhelm and help you start your business in a much more supported way. And this is where a really great mentor can come into play. I have followed Matt Lights. I think he's great. I've mentioned him before when you first came into this, but that's someone who I think can help get you off on the right foot with everything AI related, because he's been doing it for a decade or more. So that's just something to keep in mind, is that when you do look for these tools, there's a lot of people out there who claim to be AI gurus, and you want to really kind of scrutinize that a little bit, because it is such a new technology, and I think a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon when it comes to that. But again, none of this is necessary for you to start your business. It's just tools that can help support your business. So another thing to keep in mind is you want to keep your technology stack simple, okay? You don't need much to start. At a beginner level, many businesses only need one main platform, such as YouTube, or if you're doing email marketing or a website, one place to create content. Again, you can do that on YouTube. You could do that on Facebook. You could do that on Instagram or Pinterest. You could do a podcast, which also then becomes your main platform too. And then you need one way to communicate with people. Most businesses grow their tech. They don't start with all of it, right? They don't start with all of this stuff in place. Now, it is good in as you plan out. If you have an idea, there are some systems that are all in one. And if you have an idea of like, hey, I may want to do XYZ in my business, and I want to have an email marketing system, and I want to have a website, and I want to have, I want to be able to do webinars or whatever it is all in one place, there are tools out there. That is just something to think about, right? You don't have to get started with them. But if you feel like it's something you would like to start with, then starting at the beginning is a great place, because then you're not having to worry about switching systems. Again, I say that not to overwhelm you. It's just something to think about. If the idea of it is overwhelming, then, permission to just forget that I ever said that and not even worry about it. In terms of scaling, so scaling with AI, scaling with your technology, all right, AI and technology can help you with things like content repurposing, organization, automations, image creation, and consistency, but not all at once, right? Like, I don't recommend that you do this all at once, and I don't recommend that you do it right away, and that you do it without intention. So you want to be really intentional. And once you have one or two or three of these in place, that's when you can start to scale and incorporate more. I want to offer a little bit of a reframe just as we are coming up on the end of this video, is that you don't need to master technology. Okay? You don't need to master technology to build a successful business. You just need tools that reduce friction, okay, not add to it. So something that is going to help support you, but you don't need to have all the things. And starting off, and I'll give you an example. When I first started out in coaching, I got this group coaching platform. This platform was designed for group coaching, okay? I was not there yet. I didn't really need it. I wanted to test it out, but it was a little too robust. And so I ended up paying for it for a while, and then eventually I got rid of it. And I've done that with a lot of different technology, and some of it can be trial and error, but you don't need to overcomplicate that, right? Like, if you want to try some things out, that's okay, but you don't have to. You just need to think about, okay, well, if I am coaching someone, then I'm going to need maybe something like Zoom or some sort of video conference, video ability, right, to conduct sessions virtually. And I may need a calendar for them to book appointments with me. But you may not. You may just book as you go, right? Like, oh, we're at the end of our session, let's book our next call type of thing. The thing I want to drive home here is that you want to keep it really simple, okay? And you want to do one step at a time. And full permission to ignore trends, and full permission to disregard any part of this video that was like, hey, that's too overwhelming for me. Okay, you can make those decisions in your business as you're getting started, and even as you're building, right? You get to choose what works for you and what is just completely unworkable for you. It's important to keep in mind that AI and technology are really here to support you. They're not here to overwhelm you. They're not here to replace you, and it's not here to rush you. So when you use it gently and intentionally, they can make your business feel more accessible, not more complicated. And hopefully that is helpful. Just to get started and get thinking about the ways in which it can support you. If you have any questions or you want to learn more, drop me a comment so that I know and I can improve upon this video. And don't forget to subscribe for any updates as well. In the next video, we'll talk about traffic and how people actually find your business using quiet, sustainable traffic strategies that don't require posting every single day or burnout. And this is a spot where AI can help with that as well. Not necessarily well, we'll talk about it in the next video. So that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next video.